So it's been silly season for some time now. Fabrizio Romano was working overtime, as always. However, one thing that's been going on that I'm personally not used to is hearing about a deal Manchester United are interested in and seeing it progress rapidly instead of having it drawn out until the absolute deadline day. Guys, what is going on? Is Manchester United competent? Hello everyone, truly hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to off-season content. Don't mind my voice if it sounds a little bit weird. I completely lost it over the weekend and it's Wednesday today, so no further questions. The English manager job is available and being advertised on the FA's official website. I have already applied. You have until the 2nd of August to apply if you really want to, but if you do, don't hold your breath. I think I've got this covered. I hear Enzo Fernandez needs a new PR manager. Something about his last one didn't approve the Comic Sans font or something like that. I don't know. So on to Manchester United. Last season we finished 8th, which was a very hard pill to swallow. But you know what? We're back and things are looking positive right now. I actually looked on the channel to see when the last time I posted a United video was, and it was almost 4 months ago at the start of April. So yeah. And there's a reason for that. My heart. It can only take so much, you know? But this season is going to be the season for Manchester United. You heard it here first, and I know that that's not going to come back to bite me later on in the season. United have looked to conduct their business in this window in a way that we haven't really seen them do in a very, very long time. This is Ineos's first transfer window, or at least the first window of the Ineos integrated board. And you know what? If they were trying to make a splash, they've definitely done so. They have our attention. We have Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox, who are the sporting director, COO, and technical director, respectively. All new faces, relatively new. And all of them are said to have been incredibly involved in all the dealings so far and going forward. But most important, the professionalism and competency that United are showing is what's most impressive. They're doing something that I didn't really know was legal of a Manchester United board. They're negotiating. You know, they're doing lowballs, they have multiple transfer targets, so if one doesn't work out, they move on to the next one. And you know what? If this is what it's going to be like going forward, sign me up. So in this video, we're just going to be talking about the transfer activity for United, the incoming transfer activity, and why those transfers that have come in so far are so significant. For any videos about the existing team and, you know, going forward with them, we'll save that for something else. On that note, the transfer that I think has made people pay attention to United's dealings is Lenny Yoro. If you've been living under a rock, Lenny Yoro has signed for Manchester United, an 18-year-old defender from Lille who's been turning heads for some time now. He's a tall boy at 1.9 meters, he's French, he's a defender, he's athletic, he's got a good top speed, so because of all of that, the Varane comparisons were always going to be rife, which is unfair for an 18-year-old to be compared to Raphael Varane, but to add even more layers to that, he obviously came from Lille and Raphael Varane was born in the city of Lille. Oh, and Varane also played for Manchester United. He just left. He just left United too. A fee of £59 million was paid for him, including any potential bonuses, and United kinda signed him against all odds. They weren't really considered the front runners up until quite late on. After several weeks of United pushing for him during the Euro, it seemed like he wasn't on his way out and Madrid were in the driving seat. However, as Madrid were unveiling the great Kylian Mbappe, United were convincing Yoro that his services were better used elsewhere. So United clearly sees something in this player, the same way that Real Madrid saw something in this player, the same way that Liverpool saw something in this player. But it does seem that United may have seen a little bit more than the rest, because they offered more than double what Real Madrid offered. According to The Athletic, Real Madrid only tabled between 25 and 30 million euros and weren't willing to go above that. United offered him guaranteed game time. They offered him over £100,000 per week. And you know what? From that perspective, it does kind of seem like the United of old are creeping in a tiny bit, but this guy is said to be generational. Despite the fact that he's only played about 46 games in Liga and he hasn't played for France yet, all that chatter about how he may not acclimatize to the Premier League, we can't know that until we actually see it happen. He seems good. From everything I've heard about him, he seems good. From the preseason game against Rangers, he looked decent. Obviously, that's not a lot to go on, but it's what we have right now, isn't it? And then, of course, we have the other elephant in the room, the fact that Real Madrid was his first option, and quite frankly, probably still is. He's only 18, he still has the opportunity to go there later on in life, but from my perspective, if he does end up going to a Madrid type after United, that would mean that he became good enough to go there and probably would have given the club quite a few good years of service. So to me, that part doesn't bother me. I think it's a good deal. And if he ends up becoming even half the player that everyone says that he'll become, United and the support will be very happy. I saw a stat earlier that said that United used 14 centre-back pairings last season. 14! I guess this is mostly because the tendons in our centre-backs' heels seem to be made of chewing gum. I don't even know how that's possible, but you know, it's a plausible explanation. Matthias de Ligt over at Bayern Munich and Everton's Jared Branthwaite are said to still be on the centre-back wish list. And even if United don't get one of these two, I'm pretty sure they'll go out and get another young centre-back, because I don't know about all of you other United fans, but I don't really want to see Casemiro playing centre-back. Another exciting player that's been signed is Joshua Zirkzee, one of the key components in Bologna's incredible season last year. 23 years old and from the Netherlands, he actually made his debut for the Netherlands during this past Euro 24, and he cost about £36 million, again, from Bologna. He's another big guy, 1.9 meters, looks quite powerfully built. He describes himself as a street footballer, I was reading, which I guess makes sense if you watch him play rather than see his physical attributes. He's quite technical, he's a fluid dribbler, and he glides past defenders. Interestingly, Thiago Motta, who many will know as a very successful and sleek midfielder from Barcelona, Inter, PSG and more, was his coach at Bologna. Obviously this might not mean too much, but according to Motta, he describes Zirkzee as more of a Ronaldinho, who he played with by the way, than a Zlatan Ibrahimovic or a Gabriel Batistuta, who many have compared him to already. Now, of course, like Yoro, those comparisons don't actually mean very much because every player is unique and special, and so are you. You're also unique and special. But still, if we don't have anything else to go on, then there's that. But it is very interesting to know that Motta thinks that. Oh, and by the way, you guys don't have to worry too much about knowing everything about this player and how he plays. I've got you covered. I gave him the full scouting package. I watched 2 separate YouTube compilations, and then I watched a Mark Goldbridge video on him, which I think is how United's previous scouting team used to scout players. What a lot of people will probably expect from Zirkzee is someone that drops deep, contributes to the attack, but can still score goals. The goal scoring bit may not be as set in stone as he's not exactly prolific. 11 goals in his last season with Bologna doesn't sound like much, but given his reported play style, perhaps it's not the be-all and end-all about him. I think by the end of the transfer window, this is the player that I think I'll be the most excited about amongst United's transfer targets. I just really like attackers of this nature. I'm keen to see him get going. And you know I'm telling the truth because of how comprehensive my scouting process was. But seriously, along with Rasmus Højlund, we have 2 pretty interesting players that I think a lot of different combinations can be tried for. And elsewhere in the window, Mason Greenwood has been offloaded, Donny van de Beek, Anthony Martial, and Rafael Varane, who I said earlier. But just on Greenwood, I am surprised that United actually managed to offload him for that amount, 32 million euros. Now, throw everything you know about Greenwood out the window. He's a fantastic player. He was generational, is generational, whatever. But he's a PR disaster. The fact that Getafe took him on loan last season as it was it's kind of crazy. Marseille and every other team that wants him knew that United had to sell him now or risk him be on the bench, or not even on the bench, sorry, at home for about a year, and then they get nothing from this disaster. So hats off to whoever negotiated that for United, they did a fantastic job. Manchester United is more than likely going to do a ton more business in this window, so it's highly possible that we get a few more update videos on this whole club like this. Sancho looks like he's going to be shifted out. For the sake of the wage bill, we can only hope that Saudi might get involved with Casemiro. It's the only other place that I can imagine will pay even close to his current wages. We're still seeing rumors of Ivan Toney, and even though we have Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund, we could probably still use some experience up top. We've got Manuel Ugarte and Youssouf Fofana on the radar too. I did see Ugarte play last year in the Champions League. That's the only time I've seen him play, and he looked decent, but I do remember PSG fans complaining about how rash he was at times. Fofana describes himself as a versatile 6'8" or whatever the team needs. It seems like he is the secondary target amongst those two, but it also looks like Atletico Madrid are in the race for that one, so who knows? All the activity is a very good thing. United will not get all their targets, definitely, that much is obvious, but from what we've seen so far, this is extremely encouraging. I do want to talk about a couple of other clubs over the next few days. There have been some things going on. Aston Villa have been moving very interestingly. It looks like they're taking the fact that they're in Europe next year very seriously. Let's hope that they don't end up like Newcastle did this season. At least that's probably their hope. João Felix in Claret? I don't know. Could be cool. Everton's not looking too hot right now. They've been in takeover hell for what seems like ages now, and everything seems like it's collapsed all over again. So, what a time to be alive, I guess. And there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about Manchester United and their crazy movements in the market. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.